Hi, guys. So I'm just going to dive right in. All right. So I've been best friends with Tanya since middle school. At recess, from across the playground, I shouted out to her, "Hey, new girl, your underwear is showing." Even though I was being helpful, I probably could have given her a more subtle heads up. But being the sweet kid that she was, she forgave me almost immediately, and we've never looked back. Another time in high school, on our class trip to Six Flags, I got detained, or as my entire high school likes to say, arrested, for stealing a baby bottle pop. Not my proudest moment. I was put in Six Flags jail. Yes, Mom. I was put in Six Flags jail, and all of my so-called friends left me and went back to the buses, but not Tanya. Tanya sat outside my jail cell, demanding my release, and waited for me to get out. That's just the type of person she is. Very loyal and very kind, even when her best friend is being an idiot. I guess you could say that Tanya has a high tolerance for obnoxious behavior, so I can see why she's with George. I remember meeting George for the first time. I was driving to Monmouth University, and he met me at the gate to show me where to park for Tanya's surprise birthday party that he planned. I took one look at him with his do-rag, fitted, and baggy pants, and immediately was like, nope, you are not good enough for my Tata. Mm-mm. But as the night went on, I could see that she loved him. I had never seen Tanya so happy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still asked her if she was sure about him, and honestly, I'm still only 75% sold on the whole George thing. But she continues to assure me that he's the one. In all seriousness, though, I've seen George grow up from a silly college kid who wore do-rags and baggy pants to a slightly better version of that in his mid-20s, to now a loving partner and an amazing father. Even more so, I'm glad Tanya picked you, George, even though he's being distracted. Because through George, I got to meet the love of my life, Lawrence. Tanya, I've always looked up to you, not just because you are older than I am. Don't forget that. But because you inspire me to be kinder, gentler, and more willing to forgive. You're such a good friend, wife, and mother. You really set the bar high. Both of you guys are an inspiration. I've seen you transform from puppy love to real love, from kids to parents. It wasn't always easy. You've had many ups and downs, but you stuck through it together. That's all that counts. I hope God continues to bless you, your family, and your union. I love you both.
Before I start, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, my brother said to me, do you have a speech ready? And I just laughed and said, do I have a speech ready? So here it goes. Anyway, first of all, I want to welcome everybody that came to celebrate this wonderful occasion with my family. And can you guys hear me? No. No? So this light, I can't. Okay. I want to welcome everybody that came to celebrate this occasion with my family. And I walked around and met almost all of you. And I can honestly say that most of you look wonderful today. So I met George in the 80s. We were roommates in a small apartment in Huntsville, Alabama. So when he asked me to be his best man, I gladly accepted. George and I were always competitive, so there was no way in the world I could give up an opportunity to stand here and have him publicly admit to everybody that I'm the best out of the two of us. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm George's bigger, younger brother. And in fact, I'm his only brother, which is the reason I chose to enter the best man sweepstakes, because the maid of honor sweepstakes had too much competition. In fact, there's no competition. Tanya, you look exceptionally beautiful today. And gentlemen, I'm sure you guys can agree that today is a sad day that a beauty like Tanya is off the single market. George, by the way, I call my brother Emeka, so if I'm talking about George and Emeka, there's no other groom coming in here today, so it's the same person. but I'll call him George for these purposes. So George, you don't look so bad yourself. And ladies, I'm sure you guys will go through this day completely unaffected. What's up, little man? Being 11 months younger than George, some of my earliest moments were always being hand in hand with him. Sometimes I was hand in hand with my younger sister, Ijama, but the extent of my big brother role was telling her that the family secrets that she was adopted from a train station in Nigeria. Sorry, see, it's true. There you go. I got a witness. All right, so I strongly believe that my brother's calm nature came from years of being my voice of reason and playing the bigger brother role. He's also loving and a family-oriented person. One example of his character as a family-oriented man came from when I got my first job as a paper boy filling in for 1 week. So I took these papers, rolled them up, and delivered the papers just to find out that one customer was complaining about me, said he got his paper too late, excuse me. The next day, rolled the papers up, went to his house first, and I still got another complaint because his paper was not rolled the way it was supposed to be. So I went home and told my brother about this customer, and he said, you know what, I'll help you. The next day, he woke up early with me, rolled the papers up, and he decided to deliver the paper himself because he did not believe that this guy was just being so disgruntled for no reason. My brother walked up we got to his house, my brother walked up the driveway and put the paper down on the driveway, and this man came outside and said some obscenity. My brother then looked at me, picked the paper up, and threw it as hard as he can on this man's, on his roof. And he'll tell you it's true. He was not only my source of advice, but he's my protector and best friend, and he always will be. Tanya's family, if you do not know my brother, your daughter is in good hands. Tanya, I love you like a sister and welcome you into the family formally. I do sincerely apologize that nobody will ever be able to pronounce your last name the first time correctly. You're smart, loving, funny, you laugh at my jokes, and most importantly, you make my brother happy in ways that I could possibly not. My shirt. I'm extremely happy you chose to spend your life with my brother. So I'm just gonna, if everybody can just hold the glass up right now, I'm gonna use this right here. So I'm gonna give a toast to my brother George and Tanya to a long life of happiness and prosperity. Thank you.